How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. So I'm with Fable, and today we're going to be talking about launching your career with, your career in tech with Fable. And it looks like there's still some more people coming in, but that's okay. So we'll just go to the next slide. And my name is Shane, and I am the Community Talent Manager at Fable. Basically, my job, one of the big elements of my job is recruitment. So recruiting accessibility testers. And our testers, they do testing, accessibility testing on websites and apps for our customers. I've got a bit of a story, which I'm going to tell you about myself as well in a little bit. But yeah. Awesome. Next slide. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about who is Fable, and then we're going to talk about my story. I love to talk about myself, just saying. Also assistive technologies, accessibility testing with Fable, and then like using your new skills and experience. And then if there's any questions, feel free to ask some at the end. So who is Fable? Next slide. So our mission is to empower people with disabilities to participate in, contribute to, and shape society. So, although we do accessibility testing and our testers do accessibility testing on websites and apps, that's not all what it's all about either. Like, for example, I might interview somebody and it may not go very well or whatever the case may be, but I'll actually, give them some pointers and things like that and some feedback because I want them to do well on their next interview, whether it be with me again or whether it be with another organization. So, I do whatever I possibly can to help anyone at any time within, who has some sort of disability. I have a visual impairment as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. I do have a visual impairment. I'm legally blind, and I use assistive technology. And what I use is screen magnification. Many people have, really helped me along the way as well. So, this mission really does mean a lot to me as well. Fable, we started 5 years ago now, and it started with one tester. He was a screen reader user, and his name is Sam, and he works with us as well now on the core team, and he's our accessibility evangelist. And I just love Fable and working with Fable. Next slide. So some of the major companies that we work with, our testers get paid to work with these companies. You might recognize a few of these: Microsoft, Walmart, Figma, Spotify, CVS Health, Meta, Slack, Shopify. These are just a few of our customers. All of our customers that we have, they really want to make a difference in the accessibility world. They take our testers seriously. We take them seriously, and our testers, will actually, once they give some feedback, they might visit one of these sites or one of these apps, and a month later see the feedback that they presented and see it, and it just makes them feel really good. Like, our customers really do take it seriously. Next. So, working with Fable as an accessibility tester, you don't need a resume, you don't need a cover letter, and you don't need any previous accessibility testing experience to be a tester with Fable. What I look for, honestly, is professionalism, good communication skills, someone who's willing to learn. I also look for somebody who, has experience with their assistive technology. They don't need to be, an expert at it, but they do need to, understand and know how to use their assistive technology, and be able to identify accessibility issues on websites and apps. And we pay our testers real money. They earn a technology industry wage. Um, and they get paid once a month. It goes into their account, their bank account. We don't pay in gift cards or anything like that. Our testers work hard. They're valuable to us. They're experts in their own way, right? And they deserve to be paid and be paid well. Um, they gain valuable experience, from us, working with us, up-to-date experience. They're able to take the experience that they learn and apply it to their skills, to possibly future positions, or on their resumes or interviews or whatever it might be. They learn different skills like time management, organizational skills, communication skills, both written and verbal. They gain confidence. There's so many skills out there. They work with major brands, as I mentioned earlier, and they contribute to accessibility improvements, as I mentioned earlier as well. Like I said, they get excited when they see their feedback taken seriously and actually see it implemented in a website or an app. And they join a community that is supportive with each other. We have a wiki and a thread, or sorry, groups.io, and our testers, they communicate with each other on there. They support each other. Something, maybe their technology had an update, and this update may have caused an issue um, in some way that is stopping them to be able to use their computer or something like that, or use different elements of their computer or their mobile device. So our testers will help each other on there, give feedback. There's so many things that they support each other with on a daily basis. Next slide, please. So what is Fable Pathways? This is basically excuse me, free online courses um free online courses for people with disabilities by people with disabilities. The courses are taught by industry leaders who have disabilities. For example, Kelly Ford, he teaches getting started in web development. He's been with Microsoft for 20 years, and he is blind. Um, Becoming a manager is taught by Kate Kelsevich. She works with myself and also Jillian, who is presenting the slides, or sorry, moving the slides along for me. Thank you so much. But yeah, Kate is awesome. She has so much managerial experience out there, and she's definitely a leader in her industry, in the industry. And then the late Judy Human, she advocating for work. She teaches advocating for work, and this course is pretty awesome as well. And Judy worked on a couple of presidential campaigns. She's an advocate, or she was an advocate, I mean. And we were lucky enough that she has recorded this course with us. So Fable Pathways is a skill development program aspiring to bridge the gap between people with disabilities in the tech sector. All of the courses are, you work at your own pace. Also, they are accessible to all assistive technologies. You can do a little bit each day if you want. You can do it all at once if you want. It's completely up to you how you do it. And we do get reviews about our courses, and the reviews are fairly high. People do enjoy doing these courses. In fact, many times when I'm interviewing somebody, they say, hey, I took this course and I really enjoyed it. And that actually happened earlier today when I interviewed somebody. They took the, which one was it? The getting started in web development. So yeah, it's very exciting. Next slide. And I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, but I forgot to mention on the previous slide, I just wanted to play a trailer for one of the courses, and it's Judy Humans course. And I believe Jillian has the trailer set up. If you can play that for me, Jillian, that would be awesome.
One second, sorry.
No worries. Thanks.
American is not, nor should they have to be prepared to fight every day of their life for basic civil rights. You don't see enough disabled people in the key positions. The guy said to me, "Do you know that you're trespassing on federal property?" I said, "Yes." "Are you going to leave?" I said, "No." When you're really honest to really make it in the system, disabled people have to fight harder.
A bespectacled woman uses a wheelchair.
I'm Judy Human.
She smiles.
I'm teaching this course because employment is critical for all people.
Judy has shoulder-length, wavy, light brown hair. Words appear, advocating for work with Judy Human.
We as disabled individuals can be valuable contributors. We need to be looking at our futures. We need to be strengthening ourselves. People think, well, maybe you can't. Yes, we can.
Logo, Fable.
Awesome. Thank you, Jillian. So yeah, that was the trailer for Judy Humans course. Absolutely recommend all of these courses. Now, let's talk a little bit about me. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit about my story, but if we can go to the next slide. This is a picture of my wife and I. We're down in Florida. In the background, there's the ocean and some palm trees and a pool. And we're just smiling for the camera. So, but my story. So back in 2004, I worked for factories for many years. And honestly, I knew nothing about accessibility or accommodations or anything like that. In fact, I was fairly ignorant to it. I didn't know what was out there or anything. And then I started losing my sight. What ended up happening was I landed this really cool job and I started losing my sight at that time. And I ended up getting fired from this job about a month in. So I went to the doctors. Long story short, they assessed me and figured out that I had cone rod dystrophy. Cone rod dystrophy basically is the deterioration of the cones and rods in your eyes. I went through probably every emotion that I possibly could at the time, everything from anger to depression to confusion, just all sorts of them. I tried getting various jobs, just everything. I was so confused. What ended up happening was I tried to I wanted to get into human resources, and I didn't really know how, but I knew that there was a program out there for my schooling to be paid for. Because when I started losing my sight, I lost everything. Everything from my RSPs to my camp, like everything. And what happened was I did find out how to get my funding paid for through an organization. And we worked together and I got that paid for. And I was lucky enough to go back to school and have it paid for. And it was pretty awesome. When I was in school, or sorry, before that even, amongst the times when I was like going to various doctors and things like, and trying to figure out what was happening with my eyes, I went to the low vision clinic, and this is where I actually saw the very first piece of assistive technology, at least that I recognized, or that, was presented to me that I didn't even know existed. And what it was a CCTV. So the CCTV is basically a screen and it has a camera underneath, and you put print or something under so you can read it on the screen. It enlarges it. Then I saw Zoom Text, which is what I use today on a computer, and it's a screen magnification software. And it was pretty amazing because I thought I could never use a computer again. And it was amazing. So I went to school, graduated, and then I started volunteering at within a city government in human resources. Did that for 3 months, and I got hired. And I was hired contract and got renewed and renewed and renewed over and over again. And eventually it ran out. So, I was let go. About 3 months later, they brought me back again for another year, and then it was done. But I gained valuable experience. Went back to school again. This time I went back to school for psychology. When I was in school this time, I really focused on assistive technology and accessibility, and I learned as much as I possibly could. I was lucky enough to help design a course with taking, accessibility into consideration. And I also got a job doing document remediation in the IT in the IT department, and teaching others how to do that, other faculty, other staff. During that time, however, though, I learned as much as I possibly could, as I said, about accessibility and accommodation and assistive technology and you name it. And then somebody mentioned to me one day, have you ever heard of Fable? And I said, well, no. So I just picked up the phone and I called Fable. And I became a tester. And little did I know then where this door would open, what this door would open for me. I did testing for about 5 months, and a job came up at Fable, so I applied to it. And I got it after, many interviews and testing. And it, I grew from there within the company to what I'm doing today, which, as I said earlier, I'm the community talent manager. And I absolutely love it. I had no idea. If you were to ask me 5 years ago if I'd be working in tech, I had no idea I'd be working in tech. I had no idea that I'd be doing what I was doing today. And I love absolutely every minute of it. And we do have a few other people on staff who were accessibility testers as well. And I just wanted to throw that out there because, it's something that, long story short, like my story, I could talk for hours about it, but I'm not going to. But I just wanted to let you know that, and because I tell everybody the story if I can, because you never know where life's going to take you, and life has taken me here, and I absolutely love it. Next. So let's talk a little bit about assistive technologies. So Fable tests with 3 different types of assistive technologies: screen readers, screen magnification, and alternative navigation. So screen readers are things like JAWS and NVDA VoiceOver and TalkBack. A screen reader is basically a software that will read various elements on the screen for somebody who is blind, and then they use their keyboard to navigate based on what the screen reader is reading to them. Screen magnification is just that. It magnifies the screen for people who need it, who are visually impaired. I use screen magnification. In fact, I use Zoom Text. I think I mentioned that earlier. Also, many magnifiers have other functions, such as like enlarging the mouse, setting up focal points, inverting colors. So basically that is changing the color contrast, so that, for example, a lot of people read black print on white background. For me, it's easier white print on a black background. It's so much easier on my eyes. also alternative navigation, which are things like dragon, voice control, switch, or head mouse. There's a few others as well, but alternative navigation are different ways to navigate this the computer or the screen. So dragon naturally speaking, for example, that one you use your voice to navigate the computer. And I've actually have a quick demo coming up as well with somebody using Dragon. Voice control is very similar. Switch systems, we have a tester who actually uses his chin to hit a couple of buttons to do like Morse code to type. It's pretty cool to see. And then head mouse is moving your mouse or your head around with a mouse, which when you move your head around, it actually moves the pointer on the screen, and different gestures with your head will actually click and things like that for them. It's pretty cool. Next. So what types of accessibility issues might come up for each of these? So screen readers, no alternative text. These are things like when you have an image, there's no text description to tell you what that image is. Unlabeled buttons, the button simply isn't labeled. So try and think of somebody trying to purchase something, and they've gone through the whole flow to purchase an item, and that submit button at the end isn't labeled. The person using the assistive technology, they're not going to know that that button's not labeled, and they're not going to be able to purchase whatever it is they're trying to purchase. No keyboard navigation, extremely important for somebody who uses screen readers, because they navigate everything with the keyboard. And then heading hierarchy as well. Screen magnification, low contrast. That's kind of what I mentioned about earlier, where I invert the colors, but low contrast is basically a light print on a very light background, so you can hardly see the print. Buttons are too small, so it's hard to click on them. Moving buttons. Not sure if you've ever seen, say, a carousel where you go to click on the next button and then the button itself actually moves. And then carousels that autoplay and you can't stop them. And then alternative navigation. Unlabeled buttons, again, same thing. Screen times out. This is important for everybody who uses assistive technology. You might be filling in a form and it's got so long to fill in the form. However, people use assistive technology, they're a lot slower usually than others, and a lot of times it times out on them and they just can't do it. Can't dictate into edit fields, and then drop down menus, they just don't work properly or open properly. They may disappear once you move your mouse. Next, please. So going to do a little demo here. This is a video of a colleague of mine, Tin, and he's using Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's about 6 minutes long. I just make sure of the time. It's about 6 minutes long, and he's just going to pretty much go through our marketing landing page with Dragon Naturally Speaking. I'll just ask Jillian to play it.
All right, so hello, my name is Tin, and I will be testing this landing page, I guess for the marketing team here, just to see how accessible it is with Dragon Naturally Speaking. I'm just going to go through each sections of the page. I see something here, the get free video assessment, try filling out the form field. Same button at the bottom. I'll do the buttons probably towards the end, just because I don't want to be redirected to another website. These are all information. Okay, so I have 2 buttons I can play with. I'm assuming these are for logos, and then I have the form. So let's, I'll do the buttons last. So let's just start by waking up Dragon. Wake up, scroll down, page up, page up, page up. Okay, so far scrolling is okay. I'm just going to see if there's any hidden elements on this page. Show links. There's only one element on the button, which is great, because it's the only thing that you can interact with. Sometimes you see in other websites where they have like numbers around here as well, which is pretty weird. Hide numbers. Page down. show links. Show links. Okay, perfect. So these all have, yeah, proper labeling. So you can just say like, choose one, test, go to sleep. So yeah, I was able to use the show links command, which numbers each one of the sections that we can interact with. And then I was able to just choose the specific number and get it to work. Now, the other thing is if I weren't to use the number system, I would say something like click name, or sorry, click first name. In this case, it'd be first name, or click last name, click company. Let's see if that works. That is the primary use. That's my primary use of Dragon, at least, is using the click command because it's a lot quicker. Wake up, click first name, test, click last name, Fable, click company, Fable, go to sleep. All right, so yeah, it seems like all the headers are fine. This one here is a bit long. Please share with us briefly. So let's see if I can just say a couple of words in the beginning and it selects it. Wake up. Click please share with us. Wonderful, that worked. Click first name, go to sleep. Now I'm just going to try tabbing through each section because I do know that some testers use tabbing, and that's fairly important. Wake up, tab, tab, tab. Working at Fable, at fable.com. I'm just going to delete that. Test at test.com. Page up, page up, go to sleep. All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time trying to get my symbol out, like this symbol out, but all the form field works wonderfully. Even the dictation is fine. The whole email thing is always an issue just in general. By saying, I don't know, like my email at makeitfable.com or something like that, it doesn't really give the at symbol. We have to select it and then change it to the symbol itself. But not going to waste any time on that. Everything so far has been great. Now I just need to check the check boxes and then the 2 buttons that are available. Yep, that is it. Let's try them now. Wake up. Click get free video assessment. It brought me to the bottom one. Click get free video assessment. Click get free video assessment. Oh. Test at test.com. Tab. Test.com. Click I would like to request one. Click get free video assessment. Go to sleep. All right, so not gonna lie, everything works wonderfully. The click command works with all the elements. The show links command works with all elements. And then of course, although I didn't show it in this little demo, mouse grid just works with everything. Wake up, mouse grid, 8, 7, 3, 2, mouse click. Oops, I don't know if I'll also submit something, but I did. I apologize. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That should do it for my demo there. I was able to use all commands and without any issues whatsoever. Dictation was great as well. It also knew that the difference between when I was writing in my fake first name along with while I was still in that edit field, I was using a command and it didn't actually write out the command in the edit field, but it actually initiated the command itself. That is also great because some pages, once you're in an edit field, whatever you say, even if you're using a command, you're constantly stuck in that edit field. All right, so everything worked great on that landing page. Thank you, and I hope this helped.
Awesome. Yeah, so that was Tin using Dragon Naturally Speaking to navigate the landing page. He was using voice commands to do what he was doing. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So accessibility testing with Fable. Next slide. Cool. So why should people with disabilities be part of accessibility design? Nothing about us, nothing about us without us. Basically, exactly that. By designing for people at the margin, you build better, more usable digital products. So you build products that are, better and more usable, not only for people with disabilities or people who use assistive technology, but for everybody. Shift left, uncover web accessibility issues earlier on in the product development process. Very important, to do this earlier on instead of maybe having a website already built and going back and trying to do it. You save time, you save money, and actually using somebody to test early on. So it's built into the product, baked right into that product. And some accessibility issues are not addressed with WCAG compliance. You can actually have a website that is WCAG compliant, but it doesn't necessarily work for all types of assistive technologies. Somebody who uses a screen reader, for example, could become trapped somewhere within that web page because they just can't go any further. There might be a blocker there for them for whatever reason. And move beyond accessibility compliance to build an exceptional and inclusive user experience for all. This is why we test with assistive technology. We want to go beyond WCAG compliance. We want websites web pages and apps to work for everybody who uses assistive technology and everybody in general. Next. So what are some advantages of using digital accessibility? Well, for assistive technology users, working remotely, if websites are accessible, they're able to work remotely. They can work remotely if, say, the Zoom call or Microsoft Teams or whatever that is that they need is accessible for them to use it. They want to be able to access the same information as everybody else. So if a website is accessible, for example, and they want to look something up, they want to they want to access the same information. They may use assistive technology to do it, but they should be able to access the same information as everyone else. Applying for jobs as well. There is online job applications out there, and some of them are not accessible. Some of them have timeouts. Some of them may have form fields that don't work, or maybe they're not labeled properly. Some of them might have buttons that you just can't hit the apply button at the end because it's not labeled, and somebody who uses a screen reader may not know what that is. Also, keep in touch with family or friends or whoever it might be. So, some video conferencing tool. If it's accessible, they're going to be able to do that and purchase items. Purchase the same pair of shoes that somebody else might want to from the same website. If they're not able to do it, they're going to go to a different website where they can, I mean. Also, for organizations, diverse talent. If their website's not accessible, if their application form's not accessible, they're missing out on a huge diverse group of people. You want to make sure everything's accessible so that people can apply for the jobs that you have. Reach new demographics. Again, just make sure that your website's accessible. Job applications, things like that, and avoid lawsuits. Lawsuits are popping up all over the place because websites are not accessible. People can't purchase products or concert tickets or access information or whatever that might be, and they're suing organizations over it. And this is another reason why it's important to have it baked into the product earlier on. Next slide, please. So what does an accessibility tester do? They give written feedback and they also give verbal feedback. So, for example, written feedback can be following a specific steps known as a task flow and identify accessibility issues. They would then give written feedback and submit it through our platform, and our customers would take that feedback and apply it to their make changes to their websites or their apps, things like that. And I have an example, I think it's the next slide, of a task flow. Can we go back for 1 sec? Sorry. And then there's verbal feedback. And verbal feedback might be meeting with a customer virtually to share experiences and feedback in real time. So they might meet with a customer in some sort of an interview or something like that, some sort of meeting based via a video conferencing. And maybe the customer wants to learn a little bit about their assistive technology. Maybe they want to learn about how they use their assistive technology, or maybe they want them to go through their website and help them find issues or suspected issues, and things like that. So our testers would meet with them and do exactly that. And on our next slide, there's an example of a task flow. And basically, our testers would follow these steps on a website that's provided to them. So, step 1, navigate to the main menu and select our classes, then select view class schedule. Then step 2 might be find out the time for yin yoga, find out the time yin yoga is on Friday. And step 3, navigate back to the homepage. And as they do this, if they happen to see any accessibility issues, they would report them through our website, or our platform. And as I mentioned, our customers would take that information and make the changes and help make their apps and their websites more accessible based on the feedback that they receive from our testers. In fact, if you look over to the right, there is a screenshot of a yoga studio, and visually, the contrast is extremely poor, and by that I mean the print is a very light print on a very light background, and it's very hard to read. So that's just one accessibility issue on this website. Next slide, please. So here we have a quote from one of our testers, Michael Sideros. And he says, "I have the opportunity of making the online world a more inclusive for those who have disabilities, so that they can feel more a part of the society that everyone lives in." Is pretty awesome. Like I said, I used to be an accessibility tester, and it's true. And I mentioned earlier, when a tester might go back to the website and see the changes that our customers have made based on their feedback, it feels really good. In fact, they might message us. Our testers may message us and let us know of these changes. Next slide, please. So how do you use your new skills and experience? Next. So you can showcase your experience in resumes and interviews and on the job. So take that experience that you've learned, showcase your learned skills on resumes, put your Pathways courses down on the resume, your resumes that you've taken, and of course your current experience, your most recent experience that you've learned from us, your accessibility tester. Update your LinkedIn, throw your LinkedIn on the resumes as well. Interviews, you communicate effectively. Our testers learn awesome communication skills. They build confidence. Also impress potential employers from those communication skills and the professionalism skills that they learn. We do coach our testers as well, and we're there for them, through training and throughout their journey as an accessibility tester. And on the job, if they do happen to leave Fable and find another job, or they do start working with Fable as a core team member, they've gained really good organizational skills and time management skills and effective communication skills. These are all skills needed on the job, along with many other skills. Some of our testers, they've never had a job before. They become an accessibility tester, and they learn these skills with us and take them with them where they go. Or some of them you just love being an accessibility tester, and this is what they want to do. And others have moved on, and we totally support them moving on and gaining other experience or other employment. It's exciting for them, and it's exciting for us to watch them grow as well. Next. So some of our accessibility testers now work in programming or customer service, marketing, or even on the Fable core team. Like I said, myself, along with some of my coworkers and colleagues, we used to be accessibility testers, and we've grown and continue to grow. And we absolutely love seeing our testers become successful in other ways as well, and do what they want to do in the tech sector or anywhere really. Yeah, next slide, please. And yeah, thank you. And I'm open for questions if anyone has any, and I'll do my best to answer them. So yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Hi there, I have a question.
Sure.
So in the beginning, is this a contract basis?
Yeah, so what it is our accessibility testers, they all work as independent contractors. So they're responsible for their own income tax, things like that. Think of it like gig work, almost similar to Uber. So they can accept whatever requests, which are the tests, or they don't have to do them at all. So it's very flexible work. So yeah, that's kind of how that works.
Okay, so there is no benefits like medical or anything like that. It's strictly a financial issue, and how much time you put into it determines how much you get back.
Yeah, so however many requests you do determines well, really actually is you get paid by the hour. And depending on how many requests you do and what they add up to hourly is how much money you would make.
Right.
And you get paid by the end of the month, but at the end of the month. But yeah, there's no benefits per se. So things like life insurance and things like that as an accessibility tester.
Right. So what is the compensation per hour?
In Canada, it starts at $43 an hour. In the United States, it starts at $36.50 an hour.
Okay. Okay, $43 per hour. And then, so now you are a manager now,
Yep.
right? So there was a position that was available. You applied for it, and now you are actually an employee with Fable. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So other positions within the organization you can apply for, and in that case, once you are an employee and no longer an independent contractor, then you would get other types of benefits. Is that correct?
It is possible to become an employee, like on the core team. It is possible to become part of the core team, and we do have benefits. Our full-time employees do have benefits. That's correct. There is no guarantee, right, to become an employee on the core team. But we do definitely take our testers. What's the word I'm looking for? Seriously. And absolutely, if our testers feel they are qualified for the positions that come up, we absolutely encourage them to apply.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So your core, so there are core testers within the organization, but this, to become an independent contractor, is basically a way for both of you to test the waters to see if it's a good fit, if you like the job, if you're good at the job, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's a way for our accessibility testers, for example, say you were to apply to become an accessibility tester and you go through the interview and the assessment and you become a tester. It is a way definitely for you to, hey, I really enjoy doing this, or maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like our contract, it's more of a terms of engagement. Like it's not a contract where it's like it's a year long or 3 months or something like that. It's ongoing. Both parties, have the ability to end that contract at any time. So yeah, like it's definitely ongoing, but absolutely to test the waters to see if you enjoy it. Not everybody does, but most of our testers really do.
Okay.
I'm one of them. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. And the more I learned about Fable as I grew, I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
Not at this time. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Could
no
I,
problem.
could I get your name again? Sorry.
Yeah, my name is Shane.
Shane.
Yep. And I can give you like the next slide, I believe it is, will have my email and things like
Okay.
that. And I love fan mail. I'm just saying.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions? Okay. I'm not sure if there's any other questions from anybody, but if there is, I'm happy to answer some. Um, in the meantime, Jillian, can you just bring up the last slide for me? There we go. So in the meantime, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Please visit makeitfable.com/community. If you're interested in becoming an accessibility tester, once you visit there, there's a link that says become an accessibility tester. Select that and just fill out a submission form. We do contact every single person who applies. Yeah, we'd love to hear from everybody that way. Also, if you're interested in taking the Fable Pathways courses, you can go to makeitfable.com/pathways and sign up. And you can also become an accessibility tester that way. My email is shane@makeitfable.com. Feel free to take that down and feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions. If you think of any that you didn't think of today, happy to answer anything that you might have. And yeah, really thank you for inviting me and me being here. I love doing presentations. Yeah, it's all I can say is thank you. And if there's no questions, I think that's it. Do we have any more questions before we end this?
Thank you for your information.
Cool. Happy to help. Happy to help. Awesome. So yeah, like I said, if you happen to have any questions, feel free to email me. I'd happy to answer them. Other than that, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day and an amazing rest of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.